I came to this community, to this area in 1980, Master's birthday, 1987. I had lived for 16 years at the Ananda community up in the mountains, Ananda village, even though my work for 5 years or so before then was actually mostly traveling and then working with the guests at the retreat. But I would do a little thing. I would come from the village to Sacramento. We had a house in San Francisco and Palo Alto. I did that. I would do classes like that. And so we were in the very unusual position of actually having been trained for a job that we were assigned, which was extremely unusual at that time at Ananda. Usually we're asked to do things you didn't have any idea how to do. But anyway, I thought that we'd come here, we'd start a community, then we'd go someplace else, we'd start another, and I just sort of anticipated this long, many faceted career, which many of my peers did have. They lived in multiple communities in the US and in India and in Europe. I lived in Ananda village and here. Period, end of story. And I didn't realize how that thought form was affecting me until there was a bit of a misunderstanding with Swami Kriyananda, and I thought he wanted to send us to New York, to the East Coast. He thought we were trying to get out of here and flee to the East Coast. We gradually sorted that out. But at the end of it, he said, I don't think you're ever going to live anywhere else. Just get used to it. And it was like, wow. But the most interesting part of it was, I realized how many aspects of my life I was not dealing with, because I would get to run away. It was just like deep in my subconscious that I really never had to deal with this person, this one, that I hadn't really figured out how to resolve the karma, that I didn't really have to deal with this that I didn't like, the corner of the garden where nothing would grow, the aspect of whatever it might be, many things that were all just in there, and I was waiting to be rescued. And I thought, instead of putting energy out to meet the karma, I would just hang on until the wave got small enough that I could claim victory. That's how Swami puts it. He said, karma comes in a wave like this, and it's usually bigger than we are. Because if it was the same size or smaller, we wouldn't even call it a wave. It would just come like that. Oh, my car didn't start this morning, so I called AAA. No big deal. Oh, I was in a terrible wreck, and now I don't have a car, and it was my fault, and, this is a big wave of karma. So the point of a big wave of karma is for us to get bigger, to be able to expand our consciousness, to be able to absorb whatever that energy is.